I'm Melissa.
And I'm Emma.
Welcome to What the Hell Did I Just Read?
Today's book is...
Hamlet.
And,
What a play it was.
What are you doing?
Sounding terrible at doing British accents. What are you doing?
I was going to talk about Hamlet, but we can talk about this first.
Fun fact time.
Okay. Shakespeare had what we call American accent.
Hi.
Hi.
No. Swear.
Holla.
That was a line.
That's a joke. There is a line in the beginning of Act 1, and the line is Holla Horatio. And it really just means hello, but we decided...
couldn't stop making fun of our English teacher for that.
We couldn't.
How do we say holla?
I almost did it when we had to perform it. I almost went, holla! But I decided against it.
Scene one.
Scene one. Shakespeare sounds American. I will see if I can find any articles or anything about why or how I figured this out down below. But yeah, Shakespeare sounds American. I love Shakespeare. I love the language in Shakespeare. The fact that he's American sounded like I do made me really happy for like 3 days after I found out. There's a lot of people that say that Shakespeare sounds better in American, and now we know why, because that's how it was meant to be performed. So next time you're doing a Shakespeare play and the director wants you to put on a fake British accent, pull out that handy bit of knowledge. Enjoy.
Anyway, so some of the things I thought were really fantastic about the language in this particular play was how Shakespeare's kind of continuing to do his thing where he'll use, like, a word that's completely appropriate, but, like, kind of has more than one definition, and both definitions, like, really, really add to it. Like, you really need to know the language to fully appreciate the beauty of the play. And sometimes he'll even pick words that kind of sound like other words that mean different things, but still add to the line. And it's, like, it's so incredible. Like, it was during the scene where Hamlet was talking about, like, if only his body would turn into a dew and he could just evaporate away because he just wanted to melt and be done. And,
Fun fact number 2, just let me interject for a second. We consider a Shakespearean language, we're talking about it, and we probably will get carried away, so we're gonna have to, like, cut ourselves off here. About how beautiful the language is and all the wording and he was writing in commoner slang.
Yeah,
So next time you guys are using your little abbreviation, I don't know how teens talk these days. I sound like such an old woman, but I really don't know. Like,
our school has its own dialect.
Think about
We're
it.
Lost.
Think about how you're speaking, and then think about how Shakespeare was writing for the common man to understand. And feel
slang.
Really bad. About yourself. Alright.
Okay, so moving on from our lovely little rants about how pretty it is.
Okay, now we're actually going to talk about
the play.
The play.
The characters. Let's start with the characters.
Which character? We have 2. We chose 2 characters to talk about. One that we don't particularly like, but we pity.
And one that we love. And I feel they're both kind of underappreciated.
I think they are. I honestly did not... Before I read Hamlet, did not know about Horatio as a character at all.
I knew he existed, but I didn't know anything
about
him.
I knew that it was a name in the play, but I actually knew more about Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
I still need to see that movie about
I do too! Oh my god! We should see it. Okay. Alright, so which one do you want to talk about first?
Okay, so let's talk about Horatio, because I adore him.
Thing.
Oh, Horatio! How I love you! Okay.
I don't know.
I sound a little bit like Latrine.
I don't know when that started.
From Robin Hood Men in Tights, but I don't know. I swear to God, I heard that name somewhere, and I just love saying, "Oh, Horatio!" as annoying as I sound.
I can't do it. Anyway, okay, so... The thing about Horatio, he basically is there for the entire play. There are characters that fade in and out, but he
crops up.
Just always kind of there when you need him to be there. He is the bright shining ray of sunshine and logic in the realm of madness.
And truth. That's his extra special truth-telling power.
He is introduced as a scholar. Scholars are truth seekers, basically, and that's what he does. He tells the truth.
Where everyone else is kind of, like, twisting and lying and whispering behind closed doors.
Right.
It's kind of got this whole,
nice.
like...
It's refreshing.
It's very refreshing. There's kind of this whole, like, the king's been poisoned in the ear, so the whole kingdom is like, whispering and telling lies and poisoning all the relationships.
And everything is going the wrong way round, and...
Because the wrong person's on the crown, on the throne, rather. The kingdom's upside down, and nothing's really quite how it should be. So, Horatio kind of pops up, and he's just like, I speak the truth to you, Hamlet. And honestly, following the ghost isn't a good plan.
Else. He speaks the truth to Hamlet, and he makes sure that the audience keeps an objective, like, mind. At least to me.
Queen of Bunny Rabbit.
Darcy. You know, I mean, he's a great character, and in the end, he is the only one left standing when Fortinbras, that's funny, Fortinbras invades.
I like him.
I like Fortinbras. He, I guess we could talk about him too. Three characters. We're adding characters. Fortinbras comes in at the end. You sort of know a little bit about him.
He's a prince of Norway.
He's sort of like peripherally mentioned in the rest of the play, but he sort of invades at the end at the perfect moment because it is a play, and not real life. And he comes in and everyone's dead, and he's like, so I'm just gonna sit on this throne now since nobody else is gonna, and nobody else has to die. And now why don't you
over there,
Horatio, tell me what happened here?
He even picked the person who tells the truth. It's so great.
No, so Fortinbras, we're just gonna segue into Fortinbras for a moment.
He's the only, like, functioning human being in this play who lost
Besides
their
Horatio.
father.
Well, Horatio didn't, I mean, we don't know about Horatio's past.
Anyway, like, of the three characters that lost their fathers,
Horatio takes that and does the, okay, I'm going to go take back his legacy.
You mean Fortinbras?
Fortinbras.
Yeah. Okay. So there's
I'm
Hamlet.
not good at names.
There's Hamlet, who can only think about what he should do and never actually act. Then there's Laertes, who acts without thinking.
And then
basically, he rushes in and tries to kill people. And then there's Fortinbras, who thinks about it and then actually executes it, and it's beautiful
and executes it well.
Yes, and in style.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the composition of the color. We watch. I mean, obviously, this isn't like if you just read the play, you won't get this. But we watched the David Tennant version of Hamlet in class. The entire play is very muted. The colors are monochrome. The characters are all wearing dark colors. There's a few, minor exceptions. But for the most part, everything is sort of black and white and dull. And Fortinbras comes in the end, and he is wearing a red uniform kind of thing. And to me, that's like, okay, it's this new era, it's the beginning of color, and color is life as opposed to the black, which is like kind of drab and little.
Everything's very dead in Denmark.
Dead in Denmark. Something sort of comes in to, and like he restores order and everything. So Fortinbras, yes. Can the play be about him? Can we have a play about Fortinbras?
It'd be fun.
So, Fortinbras, Horatio, great characters. Those are the two good characters in our opinion. I mean, every character in Hamlet is a
well done,
good character. They are
well done.
We
just like them best.
We just like them best as characters.
And now we're going to move on to our less favored, but ever so tragic Ophelia.
And the character that we disagree on the most.
Yeah.
I think the thing that most people know about Ophelia is that she drowns in a river. And she's, this tragic figure of lost love. And no. I mean, yes, but no. This poor girl, I feel so sorry for her. She has lost, over the course of the play, legitimately every single person
she's ever cared about.
that she's ever cared about has just sort of turned around and gone, you're inconsequential to me. And that just, yeah.
Makes me sad.
It really is. And she is put into this little tiny box.
Where the ceiling
and the
keeps
floor
getting
just kind
lower until
smushed.
she's smushed and crazy.
And she goes legitimately insane. Hamlet,
unlike Hamlet, who's
Hamlet
faking
fakes
jerk.
it. But Ophelia goes legitimately insane. And goes to the river to pick weeds that she feels are beautiful, or she thinks are beautiful flowers. And this is where we get into the debate. I think that she jumped in the river. Like, she drowned herself. It was a suicide. She couldn't deal with it anymore. Like, she was just like, alright, well, I'm done now, so bye-bye.
I fall more on the side of she was, trying to pick flowers and fell in, but then couldn't find the will to climb out.
Which
Plus,
is reasonable.
In that era, you're wearing really heavy clothes. Water weighs a lot.
This is true.
So, couldn't find the willpower to live and adrenaline rush herself out, but I don't think she got in there on purpose.
Well, anyway, and then all of a sudden she's dead and everybody's like, oh my god, Ophelia, I loved her.
Yeah, now Gertrude, who had previously throughout the whole play given her the cold shoulder, is just like, I had hoped you'd marry my Hamlet. And then Laertes is literally jumping, her brother Laertes, jumping
Hamlet.
in her grave.
Hamlet.
No, Hamlet's next.
Yeah, I know.
Is jumping in her grave, bury me with her, God, I loved my sister so much. Whereas before, he was like, I'm outies, I'll be in France, have a nice life. And then Hamlet crashes her funeral and is like, I loved her more! Even though at one point he literally took the love letters he wrote to her, tore them up, and threw them in her face, telling her she was a terrible human being and should get ye to a nunnery. Like, you should never have sex because you suck, kind of thing. And
how would he know?
well,
guess we learned something about Hamlet and Ophelia.
Anyway, so, like, the only time anyone ever expended any energy towards this poor girl was after she was dead.
Yeah.
And to look better. Like, no one actually ever cared about her, and that's why she's so tragic.
She really, I mean, like,
all she wanted to do was
particularly
just
like her
be happy, and no one would let her.
Yeah.
And no one cared about her.
No.
And she was just kind of this invisible little girl in a box whose floor and ceiling kind of went like, bye.
Do you remember those things that you used to do on your hand where it's like, this is Bob?
Yeah.
Bob standing on his
Bob
head.
says hi. This is Bob when the train went by.
I always did it differently. It was always, this
is Bob. Bob
Bob
says hi.
I can do Bob can stand on his head.
Oh.
Let's clap for Bob. Oops, Bob's dead.
Oops.
Oops.
Well, that was an interesting segue into our twisted childhood.
That's not what this is about. This is not a therapy session.
Well, now you know something about us. We used to sing nursery rhymes about killing a guy named Bob.
Were we going to talk about anything else? Nursery rhymes are... No,
They're
we're not
dark.
getting into this.
But that's not for today.
We can make a whole video about this if you want. How do we feel about the play? I love it.
I really liked it. It was difficult to read without visuals, but it was still really good.
It is. No, it's a great play. Like we said, all the characters are well written. The language is beautiful. I do recommend it if you are trying to get into Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's
or
one of his more
well-known kind
plays,
of
like exciting, get
plays.
into it.
I
plays.
decided to start with Romeo and Juliet and then hit King Lear on.
Yeah.
No. You want to go with the...
That's a challenging one.
Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Macbeth,
Yeah.
Midsummer Night's Dream are the big four.
Yeah.
Kind of. So, yeah, if you want to go read it, you should.
Totally should.
It
sounds really long.
It sounds really long.
But it's not
5
that
acts. Like, it's 5 acts, but it's still a play. And, I don't know. I don't think their patience back in the Elizabethan era was much longer than ours, so it couldn't be too long.
Yeah. So, it was really good.
However, this is getting too long.
This is way too long. Okay. We'll cut it off here.
We're gonna cut it off here.
Alright, we'll be back with Heart of Darkness very soon.
Alright. See you soon.
Okay, wait. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to What the Hell Did I Just Read?
As always, I'm Emma. Wow.
Are you having an identity crisis? confused, dear sweet baby, is Emma.
What was that?
And we're talking about Hamlet.
What was that?
Equally trippy to your name
Hi.
issues, darling. Okay.